Chicago has some of the best Art Deco buildings in the entire world. Result of the Roaring 20s. You got to think like Al Capone and the Great. It always reminds me of like Al Capone and the Great Gatsby, and bootleg and the whole thing.
Yes.
So she is going to show us a piece just in a couple of minutes there, and then there's something right now called over-tourism.
Okay.
Over-tourism.
Tell me more.
Okay, so apparently some of the hottest tourist destinations in the world right now are so oversaturated right now that it is becoming like a big problem, and even some of the backup locations are getting oversaturated. So over-tourism is an epidemic right now amid the summer travel boom. So we're going to be speaking with a travel expert on how to navigate this and how to avoid the crowds.
Maybe it has something to do with people having babies later in life, or choosing not to have children at all and just traveling.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
We're going to get to the bottom of it.
We will.
And there's another cool thing happening in Chicago. This is, you know, we always hear about new apps, new AI, that kind of thing. There's someone who's come up with an app to gamify taking the CTA. So it's an app that you sign into, and it basically tracks our daily commutes, transit stats, and it basically turns public transit into a friendly competition. You track your miles, you rank riders, you measure your environmental impact, and it's all gamified. So we're going to talk to him about what inspired him to create this app. I actually heard a really cool interview with a woman who talks about how, in general, in our lives, you can I mean, the most obvious example is tracking our steps, right?
Yeah.
Like to get to that 10,000, or like unlocking achievements. But there's a whole book written. I heard an interview with this author about how to gamify like our entire lives, whether it's eating or
it's like your whole mentality. Like you get to live in this body and have fun every day.
You can think of yourself as like the main character in your own video game.
Yeah.
So it's cool stuff. We're going to talk to him a little bit later. But first up, we're going to take a step back to the Roaring 20s.
All right.
The Roaring 20s, everybody, with a walking tour through Chicago's financial district, where gleaming Art Deco lobbies tell the story of an era defined by prosperity, bold design, opulence. I love the Board of Trade building. The lobbies in some of these financial buildings on LaSalle there, they're works of art. I mean, you're in a work of art.
The dark paint, the beautiful light fixtures,
It's amazing. Hidden symbols, lavish materials, the towering Board of Trade building. This tour highlights the architectural treasures that have made LaSalle Street a showcase of modern style, and we sent our producer Delaney to check it all out.
Many people are surprised when they find out I've walked past this building for years. Maybe it was the lobby of One North LaSalle. The building is interesting, but would you expect the lobby was that fabulous? Expensive, expensive, expensive. This tour has the most incredible buildings and lobbies. I think you'll see, period. Because incredibly lavish buildings were built at a time of great financial prosperity. LaSalle Street, then Chicago's Wall Street, many banks, and we were learning how many of these buildings were put up by developers with banking halls designed for banks, and even if they didn't have a bank as a tenant, they thought, we'll get one, because banks were ideal tenants then. They had so much prosperity that the architecture firms could go crazy. We saw those incredibly elaborate bronze elevator doors, expensive material, high level of expert craftsmanship, all the amazing stone carving. All of these designs went into the buildings to send a message about prosperity and success and doing well. What is she doing? Well, she has a cornucopia, or horn of plenty, and that's a nice analogy for prosperity. And then these images reinforce the idea of having success. There are some key design elements which we see on most Art Deco buildings, big, medium, or small, and they are the chevron or zigzags. They love the 8-sided octagon. They love sunburst, flowers, birds, fountains. Sometimes they had Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. These designs all help you identify an Art Deco building. For the skyscrapers in New York and Chicago, the distinctive shape of the base with a much smaller tower because of a height limitation, zoning ordinance. So the massive base and the tower in a much smaller footprint, so you didn't have too many solid, massive buildings casting dark shadows, making canyons of the street. So you get that distinctive look of the base with the tower rising up. We have 6 months of classroom training, including architects and engineers and the staff. And we try to make it an engaging and interactive experience for the audience. We try to get them involved. So people really seem to love Art Deco because there's so much imagery and things they can see and try to interpret. I've even had young children on this tour, 6, 10, and they loved it. Fortunately, so many of these buildings have been preserved. Chicago does an excellent job with adaptive reuse, and it's marvelous they've been preserved like this.
I think. Yeah.
What is your favorite part of Chicago architecture? Is it the Art Deco, or do you gravitate more toward the more modern steel and glass structures?
You know what my favorite is? Like we were talking yesterday about the industrial areas of Chicago, like the industrial buildings.
You like that gritty, like West Loop or West Town, like those industrial corridors. I get that.
Those are my
I love that too. And you know, so many of those buildings over there are made out of Chicago brick, which is from the bed of the Chicago River and Lake Michigan as well. So one really cool thing about Chicago brick is, like they say, Chicago is made of itself, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's made of itself. So a lot of those brick buildings over there in West Town, West Loop, are from the riverbed and the bed of Lake Michigan. It's so cool.
We had a townhouse a couple years ago that had Chicago brick flooring in the laundry room, and I didn't know what it was, but the Chicago bricks
It was a brick flooring.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
But like you could see on the bricks, and I didn't realize it was because they were made from.
Yeah, they have a distinctive color. It's like a reddish, orangish color that's distinctly Chicago.
What about you? What's your favorite?
I gravitate toward the Art Deco. And Delaney, by the way, you did an outstanding job on that piece. I love the music. It takes you back in time, and she is a treasure. She's a gem.
Yes.
That tour guide there, and I'm not surprised that 6 or 10-year-old liked her tour.
Is your house decorated that way?
Ours, there's a little bit. Our house is 1920s for sure, and there are a couple of little actually our bathrooms are very Art Deco.
Okay.
Yeah, our upstairs bathroom is, and then some of the radiators have like that, you know, I spray painted them myself, but like that brassy color. So yeah, there's a little bit of Art Deco inspired touches on the inside.
Sure.
But I would definitely say that I gravitate toward the 1920s buildings in Chicago. Some of my favorites, the Tribune Tower. I love the Hotel Intercontinental, the Board of Trade building, the Jewelers building over here. And those lobbies just take your breath away.
Yeah, they do.
They totally remind me of just like Al Capone, Great Gatsby.
And it's hard to find, authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're preserved so well.
Yeah.
What do you think is do you have a favorite downtown building that comes to mind?
Not really.
I mean, I go different.
Where did we have our Christmas party?
Oh, the Athletic Club.
Oh, was that what it was?
The Athletic Club right down here?
That was outstandingly beautiful.
Yes, it is. I don't know the history of that. I think that predates the Art Deco, I think, because I think it feels to me like it might be even a little bit older.
It was almost like otherworldly there.
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
Doesn't seem like it's in Chicago.
It's funny because I do gravitate toward the Art Deco, but I think if I had to choose a favorite building, it's the what used to be known as the John Hancock.
Yeah.
Because I like that crisscross pattern on the outside. I think that is just like so iconic. Chicago.
I like the history of the buildings. Like I just picture, the people who were building these structures and putting in this decor, and like if we could just be a fly on the wall back then, and now we still have it today. That's amazing.
They were masters of their craft, and I think in this economy, those same architectural elements, all that gilded trim that we just saw in Delaney's piece, that would be way out of budget for
yeah, no, for sure.
Nowadays, I think.
Know, another street I really like is Dearborn.
Oh, yeah.
And that's more residential, obviously, but like
toward the north,
the Gold Coast.
Gold Coast,
I used to
Dearborn
like to
State
run down
Street
those roads with the row houses.
Unbelievable, yeah.
It's-
Those Gold
They're
Coast.
beautiful.
This is a great winter date idea, everybody.
Okay.
Be sure to credit me for this. Nice hot cup of,
Hot cup of Joe.
Joe, or
With a little
tea
something,
or chai, whatever it
Okay.
is, like a sweet hot drink from like Starbucks or something, and then just walk in wintertime, Christmas season, walk that stretch. You can see in the window, everyone goes all out
Yeah.
with their Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Get out of a State Street. I know obviously the window displays at the old Marshall Fields, Macy's, they're awesome. Kids love that, but
Yeah.
for the adults, if you just do a little walking tour on a nice winter night, milder winter night, look in the Christmas
It's
decorations in
beyond.
Gold Coast.
The Beyond the Beyond.
It's
and then
so
you could
good.
walk all the way to Lincoln Park.
Yeah, and have a rack of rib at Twin Anchors. That's a good winter day.
Okay.
Twin Anchors.
Twin Anchors.
Amazing rack of rib there. Yeah, the baby back ribs there. So that's my winter date idea.
So
Put a
sweet.
pin in that.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fall though.
You know
We
where
got
I
a lot
always
of
wanted
time.
to go down there is the Blue Door. Have you been to that
No.
restaurant?
No.
It's a darling little place from the outside.
The
I've never
Blue
been
Door.
inside. Yeah.
I'm not cool
I'll
enough
have
to
to
know.
look it
Anita
up.
Blanton knows all these places.
And Sylvia Perez, of course.
Yes,
We've
indeed.
got some foodies amongst us.
Okay, so